Well, hi. How's everybody doing? It is a Sunday video update. Thanks for stopping by. And my name is Jared Fuller, aka Jerry Bear. Today's date is Sunday, March 28th, 21. I almost said November. I don't know why I would say November. This is the Sunday video update. Thank you so much for stopping by and indulging me for the next hour or so. Um, Dad and Amy are gone this week. They are actually up at my cousin's house. So I have the house to myself this week. I hope you all had a wonderful week. There's a lot of things to talk about. And this little guy here that I had up to the camera in the opening there, I received this in the mail yesterday. This little red bear and this customized, like a journal book, and it's got my nickname Jer Bear on it, which I think is really cool. And I was just tickled when I got that in the mail yesterday. So the person who sent that to me, they know who they are, by the way. I give them my love and thanks, and I really and truly appreciate the gift. So, time to get down to a little business. Chat logs are open, so if you want to be nice and if you want to leave some nice comments, I'm all for it. However, if you're going to be a jackass, I will have judicious use of the ban button, and your ass will be adios. So if you want to come in and say hi, please be my guest. I'll probably interact with you. I did announce last week that I was going to open up the chat log and just to kind of give people a chance to, show their colors. Are they going to be nice or are they not going to be nice? So we're going to find out. And like I said, if you come into the chat log being a fool, you're out of here. Your history. I'm not going to put up with it. So, but anyway, now that we got that out of the way, my week was pretty good. I hung out with my brother for a little while, and actually, we hung out for, I'd say, a couple of days. We hung out, so that was nice. Saw some family, and just the typical stuff, hanging out with family and friends and things like that. And I actually had the opportunity to speak with the nonprofit, or I'm sorry, the CEO of a nonprofit organization on the phone. Um, I'm not going to give names or the names of nonprofit organizations because that's between myself and the person that I speak with because of the fact that I got haters watching right now. And, they like to go back and try to fill their head with a bunch of shit. So that's a lesson that I had to learn, but it is a learned lesson nonetheless. So yeah, I had a nice conversation with this individual who was the CEO of a nonprofit organization. And I find it to be very just amazing at how much, like when I speak with these people, and surprisingly, I would assume or at least think that these people would have something to say about my thoughts and feelings about childhood cancer advocacy and things like that, but they seem to agree with me. And so when they agree with me, it's like, well, that's never happened before. How do I respond to it? But it's awesome because we can have the conversations, and even if they don't agree, we can still have the conversations. We can agree to disagree on some things, which is fine. But I am very surprised when I find out that these people actually agree with me on some things. And um, one of the things that I talked about, which I've spoken about on my channel any number of times, whether it be here in the Sunday video update or in my daily rant recordings, which the daily rant recordings seem to really grab people, mission accomplished. But the thing that I really talk about is how much of a joke that childhood cancer advocacy has become. And it just gets worse and worse and worse by the day. And I, I don't say it to be mean. I don't say these things to be a jerk. I say them because I'm trying to expose the problems. Now, um, it's really a shame that families become victims of this and their children have to go through the things they've had to go through. But in all reality, there are people out there, and I'll just talk about this for clarity. There are people out there who are genuinely concerned about the well-being and health of other people. And genuinely, they're not looking for anything in return. They're appreciative of the fact that, someone actually cares about them as individuals. And then you have the people who say that they care and they like to embellish stories so that way they can reproduce themselves by coming up with this embellished story about how they hold the child's hand when they take their last breath, which I highly doubt is the case. But you got to foster up this little story so that way gullible people will buy into it, so that way you'll donate money to their nonprofit organization. And I'm not saying that all nonprofit organizations are this way. I don't want to make any blanket statements, but judging by what I can see, and I can still see it, by the way, there's a lot of that going on where you have people, whether they call themselves advocates or activists, they will embellish a story because it plays with the narrative that you already have about childhood cancer in your head and in your heart. They play on your emotions. That's how they get you to donate money to their cause. And it's a cheap marketing ploy using sick and dying children to get money from people, because you play on their emotions and you want these people to feel sorry and have, all my conscience, if I don't do something, if I don't donate to this cause, and I'm such a horrible person. No, you're not. You're not. Coming from a childhood cancer survivor, I'm telling you, you're not a horrible person. In fact, you are probably doing a favor. Like, if you want to directly help a family, I would recommend that. And I would suggest that all day long, because if you're helping someone without expecting all the attention and the accolades and all that other extra, the added extra bullshit that doesn't mean anything at all, then do it yourself. Then just send them the money. Don't go through a third party. Just send them the money directly. Say, do you have, ask them, do you have a PayPal? Do you have, do you have a post office box or even a mailing address? Although they don't suggest you send anything, like money or cards or anything in the mail. But, that's one way of doing it. Or you can slip it into their mailbox. If you know where they live, you just put it in their mailbox or drop it off on the doorstep. Anything, even if it's not money. What if it's just groceries? You can do groceries. But the whole thing about that, and I was very surprised that someone actually agrees with me on this, and that is the fact that, like I just said, a lot of these nonprofit organizations, the people behind them, and not so much the organization, because the organization itself is neutral. It's the people behind them. They like to use children as marketing strategies to get money and popularity and fame, because there is a pissing contest going on in childhood cancer advocacy. And I keep pointing this out, but people think I'm full of shit. Well, generally, I can be full of shit if you know who I am as an individual. If you know me personally, yeah, I can be very full of shit. But when it comes to things like this, I'm not kidding around. I'm very serious about this. And you have to make a conscious decision as to whether, gee, do I want people to view my child as a human being, or do I want people to view my child as a marketing tool? Because that's what's happening, especially with these insecure fucks out there who have nothing better to do. And they just love to jump on every opportunity they can to boost their ego and their image on social media. And that's what it boils down to. And this person that I had spoken with on the phone, she actually agreed with me on a lot of this stuff. And I was very surprised. It's like, wow, really? You actually agree with me on this? For once, someone actually fucking agrees with me on something like this. And the person's like, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. I'm surprised more people haven't come forward and said the same. I said, well, it's because people don't have the balls or the backbone to actually say what needs to be said. But I will say it without fear. I don't care. Um, I speak the truth, I tell it like it is. And there's people out there who just don't like it when I speak the truth because I can see right through their bullshit. Right through their bullshit. I can see through the facade. There's more than just a COVID mask on. There's a whole another kind of a mask. And I can see through both of them quite well. So, but that's the conversation that I had. And it's like, wow, finally, someone fucking agrees with me on this, that I'm not alone in this way of thinking, that I'm actually seeing it for what it is. And it's like, I got the confirmation that, yeah, that's what it is. You could call it confirmation bias all day long. But the fact of the matter is that actions speak louder than words. And if your actions don't match up with your words, I have no reason to believe you. So, all these people who like to embellish and they say, yeah, I hold hands of children when they take their last breath. I highly doubt that's the case unless it's their own parents. I highly doubt that that is the case. Yeah, now the parents, of course, the parents are there when the children, pass away, and it's really a sad situation. And I'm not trying to make light of a delicate situation because that's serious stuff and it's sad. It's really sad. And I'm not here to poke fun at that or to say that it's not as bad as they let on. It's terrible. It's terrible. But you have people who aren't even directly like connected with these people, and they like to pretend that they're Superman or they're Captain America or some funky shit because they have some kind of an insecurity about themselves, that they have to use people's sick and dying children as a fucking bandage to cover up their little insecurity boo-boos, their little cuts and scrapes on their kneecaps because they don't know how to act like adults, that kind of thing. So, and I had told this person straight out on the phone, I said, look, I'm not saying this about you because I've seen your work and you've always been honest. You've never made it about yourself. You've made it about the children, the families who need the help. You've made it about them all the time, which is the way it should be. And I said, other people, on the other hand, they can't do anything unless there's something in it for them. Well, what do I get out of it? Well, I have to make myself look good at someone else's expense. Oh, look what I did. Look at me, Tom Mitchell. Milk Tyson. But those kinds of people exist. They exist. And it's like, you have to be able to separate that. Okay. If you're going to do something nice for somebody, just fucking do it and get on with your day. You don't need all the other attention. You don't need the added extra, accolades. You don't need all that shit. Just help people and get on with your life. But when you do things and then you post it on social media later, your actions don't match up with your words. If you're saying, well, I'm very, concerned about the well-being of people and the sick kids and this, that, and the other, you're a fucking liar. You really are a liar. It's right there. It's in plain view. There's no denying the kinds of bullshittery that goes on in the childhood cancer world in terms of advocacy. Me, I never, when I help people, I never did it for this. I did it for this, if that makes any sense. It's just because I can directly relate to the situation of these kids. I can directly relate to it. And there's always someone out there who takes issue with me or what I say or what I do. That's fine. They can take all the issue they want because I'm the only one out here actually speaking truth on things. And these other people, they're hoping that no one catches on. Well, for me, it's too fucking late. I caught on a long time ago. I don't consider myself an advocate anymore. I haven't now for a couple of years. And when I look back in retrospect on posting gold ribbons on Facebook, and it's like, well, really, what good did that do? What kind of improvement did did posting a gold ribbon do for helping other people? It was nothing more than a virtue signal for how wonderful of a person I am. And I'll admit, that was a fuck up on my part. And I've learned from that, which is why I don't do it anymore, because it's ridiculous. These people that, well, I'm an advocate and I'm going to foster change. I'm going to put an end to it. No, you're fucking not. You're just not. Sorry, but you're not. Nothing is going to change. It's going to be the same tomorrow as it was today. The only thing that changes is your image on the internet. That's it. Otherwise, you're not doing a fucking thing. You know what? Go into the labs and study the shit. Look through a fucking microscope and study the shit around the clock, night and day. Then, if you stumble upon some kind of a cure, then you have something to boast about, which was something else I wanted to talk about too. I'm kind of glad I stumbled into that territory. Now, this person, like many others, they've asked me what my thoughts were on, is there a cure for cancer in general, not just childhood cancer, but a cure overall. And my honest response to that is, I don't know. And I know some of you out there may be watching this and thinking to yourself, oh, come on, Jared, you know, there's a cure and they're just keeping it from us. And there may be people out there saying, oh, yeah, there really is. They're just, you know, they're keeping something from us. Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't have enough information to say that there is a cure. And I don't have enough information to say that there's not. So I think the most appropriate answer I can give, being straight down the middle, I'm neutral in the center, because I'm not going to stick my knife here or there. My honest and maybe perhaps most appropriate response to that question is, I don't know. So that's where I am. I'm like in the middle. Because I you know, the thing about cures for cancer is that medical science, biology and all that falls under the category of science, medicine, you know, and anything to do with you know, illness and things like that. That is a branch of science. And with science, we need evidence and data to support claims, which I have not seen or heard. And, you know, I'm not sitting here saying that the government's keeping something from us, and I'm not sitting here saying that the government isn't keeping something from us. What I'm saying is, I'm sitting here not knowing the truth of either side, so I'm saying I don't know. And that's probably the most honest and most appropriate answer I can give. And it should be the answer that everybody gives. Because you don't want to say there is, because that's false hope. And if you say, well, I know there's no cure for cancer, well, how would you know that unless you saw some kind of proof or evidence that contradicts that? There's no evidence either way. There's no evidence either way. So my honest answer and appropriate answer, once again, is I don't know. A lot of people get frustrated by that answer because it's not left or right. It's just right down the middle. I'm neutral. I don't know. So that's where I stand with the whole, is there a cure for cancer? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Now I don't want to say that helping people was a waste of my time. It wasn't a waste of my time. It was not a waste of my time. What I'm saying is that having this gold ribbon hysteria, which, what is that? What does that do? What does it do? Oh, but you're raising awareness to childhood cancer. I think we're all fucking aware now. We're all aware. Whether I talk about it here or when I talked about it and blabbed on about it on Facebook, I think we're all aware that childhood cancer is a thing. Cancer affects children just as much as adults. And like the funding situation, you know, like the funding for adult cancer, they get like 96%, and for children, there's only 4%. Um, honestly, I don't even know that either. I would have to research it if that were the case, but I don't have statistics in front of me to actually confirm that. You know, that's just it's what happens with that is it just turns into a platitude, like more than four, hashtag more than four. Um, it's just a platitude because it resonates with people who are going through those similar situations like I did. But back then, of course, we didn't have social media, so hashtags weren't even a thing. Back in 1989, a hashtag was called a fucking pound key. You know, it was a pound sign on a phone, you know, the push button phone. That the hashtag shit didn't exist back then. So, in terms of technological advances, yeah, we've made some very good technological advances, but I'm not going to hang my hat on either side and say there is a cure or there's not because it's dishonest. If I don't have enough information, um, I don't like to blindly go on making proclamations about things to which there is no evidence to substantiate, is what I'm saying. And I'd rather be honest and I'd rather be safe about the claims I make, especially if I don't know. You know, I'm just in the middle. And I know people get frustrated with me. Oh, Jared, you know there's a cure. No, I fucking don't, actually. And neither do you. You claim that there is a cure. So why don't you show the evidence where there is? And if there's not a cure, show the evidence that would be contrarian to that. Oh, wait, there is none. Or if there is, you don't have it. Drinking Pepsi. But anyway, enough about that. So let's see. I got a phone call from a bereaved parent, I think it was last week. And I was invited to a barbecue because of a local family that I helped. Um, their son passed away, and I guess I came to their mind. I came to mind, and they want me to join them for a barbecue. I don't remember if I mentioned this in last week's Sunday video. Thing is, when I talk about things and I just finish my thought and I say adios, toodaloo, whatever, I don't listen to myself speak for an hour. I just say what I need to say and be done. But they did invite me to their house for a cookout, for a barbecue. I'm looking forward to it. And, we just have to plan a time and we have to, you know, find out what works for me, what works for them. Because everybody's busy these days. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. My mom had surgery, I think it was a couple weeks ago. She's doing pretty good. She's I talked to her for a little while, in text message. I thought I called her, and maybe it was a text message. I don't remember half the time. But I did speak with her last week, and she said she was doing pretty good. She's healing nicely. She's still in a little bit of pain, but it's manageable. And so yeah, she's doing pretty good. And she wants me to come up to see her again, which I plan to do as soon as I get my stimulus check. I know a lot of you probably didn't get your stimulus checks either. We're waiting for ours still, and I'm getting very fucking frustrated. Because I have my van that still needs fixed, needs repairs, and I can't do it until I have the money to do it. So home I sit. Dad, he's doing pretty good. He's out, or actually he's up at my cousin's house, as I had pointed out in the beginning of this video. Tomorrow night he wants to go out to Billy's out in Clio. I haven't been out there in a couple weeks, and Dad says, well, you could use a break, you just to get out of this house, because I imagine that it's driving you crazy. You miss your friends and the people that you go out there and socialize with. And Yeah, kinda. I miss going out there. There's days when I don't mind being by myself. Like I can stay in my room for hours. It doesn't bother me. But then I get lonely. I start missing people. I think about people and I miss them. And it's like, well, I'm going to text them and see what's going on. And as it usually happens, I don't hear from anyone unless I text them first or if I email them first. Otherwise, I'm just a shot in the breeze. I don't exist until I text or email them first, which I've really been slacking off on being the first to initiate conversation because, I'm tired of being ignored. So, time to give a little payback in that regard, friendly payback, because I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm just, you know, I get busy. Yeah, they get busy. Sure. But if you can spend 6 hours a day on Facebook, you should be able to take 2 measly little fucking seconds to say, Jared, how's it going? We haven't talked in a while. How have you been? And, you know, they should be able to do that, but they don't. I'm just checking the chat log over here. No one's commenting, which is fine. I figured I would just open the chat log and, give my viewers a chance to interact, and I'll read your messages and I'll respond accordingly. Slow mode is on, so you'll be able to comment every minute within the hour up until 4 o'clock Eastern. So if you want to come in and say hello and ask me how I'm doing or just strike up conversation about something else, please do. Please come in. I invite anyone to come in. But if you're going to be on your best behavior, if you're going to come in here starting trouble, like I said, you're gone. And you will be out on your ass because I will not put up with it. I won't put up with people coming in here being stupid. But comment, say hello. So I do have the house to myself, which is nice. I don't know if Amy's watching from where she is. If she is, Amy, if you're watching this, you can leave a comment in the chat log if you can see the chat, if you know how to access that. If you have an account, I think you can do it. Most people who are subscribed to my channel, they don't have an account, or they don't have a YouTube channel, but they do have an account. And they text me and they'll say, yeah, I watch your videos every week. I listen to your videos. And speaking of which, I almost forgot a shout out to my cousin Destiny, Bug Eater is what we call her. My buddy Joe out in Kansas, my buddy Juan in Texas, and to my family and friends, few and far between, all over the United States. And depending on where you're watching, may not even be in the United States. Because I really don't know how far out my videos reach. But if you are watching this from outside the United States, welcome. Happy to have you here. But in any event, I'm doing good for the most part. I mean, I have my up days and my down days, just like anybody else. And last week I went to the Back 40 and had a couple of beers, actually more than a couple, had like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8. I don't drink every day. It was just nice to unwind and cut loose for a little while. And I discovered that when I drink, I get very hungry. So I ordered what's called puff bread at the Back 40, and the puff bread is really good. All it is bread dough, and they just put the garlic and the Parmesan and butter, and it's really good. It's actually really good. And if I don't get that, I usually get their beef nacho supreme. They have an awesome menu at Back 40, but I actually prefer going to Billy's out in Clio. They have a club sandwich that's called My Wife's Favorite, which is a cross between a BLT and a grilled cheese sandwich. and oh my God, is it fucking good. It's very filling, and it comes with French fries and a very long pickle, and it's worth every penny that you spend. It's worth every penny, and it's really good. The people out there at Billy's are just, you know, first class A1 friendly people, and um, that's why I keep going back, although I haven't been out there in the past couple weeks for the Monday flashback. But tomorrow night, Dad wants to take me out there. He says, Jared, you got to get the fuck out of this house for a while, and you got to get out and see things and go out and, socialize with your buddies and, order some food or do whatever you want to do. I'll go out there with you. We'll hang out. We'll just make it a night, just father and son, which Dad and I are usually always together anyway. Where there's one, there's the other. We're very inseparable in that regard, but, he just wants to get me out of the house for, a few hours, because when I go out there by myself, I usually leave around 4:30 because, I want to get in there early enough so that way I can find a seat. And so if, I want to get something to eat, I can eat when I come in. And, by the time I'm finished eating, or I'll still be eating, but by the time it takes about an hour to get there. So by the time I get done eating, Dan Richards from 98 WKCQ shows up, and his lovely wife, Georgianne, she is a sweet lady. I love her to death. She is just the nicest people you'd ever meet in your life. And sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'll see Jay Patrick from Cars 108 out there at Billy's on Monday night. And he's a really nice guy too. I've been introduced to him. And I know a lot of television and radio disc jockeys locally from my area, and they're very nice people. And, they're always down to earth and always friendly, always, greet you with a smile. And I know when people are being real and when they're being fake. The people that I talk to, they're not like that at all. They're really happy to see me because I joke with them. I, strike up conversation, and I show respect. I'm respectable. And, I'm just courteous. I'm nice to everybody until I'm given reasons to not be nice. There's a drunken sailor who goes out there. His name is Rick. He's an older guy, and he's just an old drunk. And he threatened to whoop my ass one night. And I said, well, there's a parking lot out there. I mean, I'm not going to do it in here. I said, but if you want to rumble, old man, I mean, there's a big old parking lot outside if you want to take care of business out there. And he just get the fuck away from me. And it's what I thought. Go, have another one. The night is young. Have another beer. Drink more whiskey or whatever the fuck it is you drink. I don't go out there looking for trouble, and I usually keep to myself, and I don't speak unless I'm spoken to. The floor, the waitresses who work the floor, they'll come up and say, "Hey, Jared, how you doing?" So they know me by name, and they'll say, "Are you going to have the usual? You're going to have my wife's favorite, a Coke? Maybe just a Coke and a basket of fries for now. If I'm still hungry after I finish that, then I'll, order the club sandwich." But they know who I am. They know why I come out there, and they're always just friendly people, and they talk to you. They treat you like you're a fucking human being. And they don't have their own special cliques of people that they want to talk to. They talk to everybody. They treat everybody like human beings, the way that people should be fucking treated. And, you don't find that a lot anymore. You don't find good, caring, honest, genuine people like that anymore. They're getting harder and harder to find. And I notice that it's the older people, people who are in their 60s and 70s. They are the ones, not all, well, excluding Drunken Rick. But most of the people out there, they're just really super friendly, and I could be out there by myself. Like if I go out there by myself, I'll have a whole table to myself. I'll just be sitting there, and Dan Richards usually sits next to me. He sets up his speaker and his microphone and things like that. and I'll just be sitting there, just relaxing and just kind of, feeling the ambiance, and just seeing what everybody else is up to, just being out into the world and seeing other people and socializing and getting that humanly feel and vibe. And Dan will come in and he'll say, "Well, what's happening, Jared? How's it going, Jared Bear?" And, it's going, Dan. How you doing? And his radio name is Professor, so we call him Professor Dan Richards, or Dan the Professor Richards. Um, but he's just a super nice guy, and his wife Georgianne, she's just the nicest lady in the world, and she's always smiling, and she's always nice and respectable, and she'll come up and say, "How you doing tonight, Jared? We haven't seen you out here in a while." "Yeah, it's been a while, things have been kind of not so good," I said, "but I'm back this week, and just to unwind and just to take my mind off things." And and that's usually how it goes. I go out there and I enjoy the company, and I enjoy um I just enjoy being there. I enjoy being around people who want me around, and people who respect me and they love me for me, and they don't expect me to be anything other than what I am. And you don't, like I said, you don't find that anymore. Not especially not with the younger people. You don't find it with younger people. It's always the older people who know how to treat you as an equal, as a human, and they recognize you as a person. They don't just look at you and go, "Ugh." And if they do, fuck them. I just don't speak to them. But if you treat me good, I'll treat you good. And that's usually how it goes. People treat me pretty good because when I go in there by myself, they know that I'm not there looking for trouble. And when I sit by myself, I'll keep to myself. I don't talk to anybody unless my buddies come in. I got a couple of buddies who hang out there at Billy's. Their name is one's named Kenny and the other one's named Terry, and they're really nice guys. And they live in Flint, just right up the road from Billy's. And it's like, man, you're probably I have friends in Flint. I said, but you guys are like the two nicest guys from Flint that I've actually met. And I said, I know a lot of people from Flint. I have a lot of friends who live in Flint, and I had family who lived in Flint for a short time. And like, yeah, we live in a very political, politicized city, and we just treat people the way that we would want to be treated. And I said, you know what, man, that's how I am. That's the way I feel. I treat people the way that I would like to be treated, but I'm not afraid to call out bullshit. When people try pulling the wool over my eyes, no, I catch on immediately. Um, and that's what it is too, is you get people who think that I'm saying things about them to be mean, which you can take it any way you like it, but um, I fight back and I call bullshit on a lot of things. I don't just sit back and not say anything, and because that's not the norm. That's not the kind of world that I would want to live in. If we're gonna be honest about shit, let's be honest, and let's not fuck around. Let's not kid around. Let's just be serious and get things done the right way the first time. So, and that includes friendships. I always tell people all the time that if you're really my friend, cool. If you're not, then just leave me the fuck alone and stop wasting my time. Because, you know, nobody's getting any younger, and I want to be surrounded by people who are real and honest and truthful with good intentions, and they're not, they don't have some kind of ulterior motive hiding up their sleeve. And it seems like that's the only kinds of people out there anymore. And that it's a shame. It's really a shame. But not out at Billy's. There's a lot of real easygoing guys out there at Billy's, and we joke around with each other, and um, it's just a great time. I love going out there. The people are nice. The back 40, I don't. They're nice. I mean, there's some nice people there, but I've noticed that if if you don't own a business in town, if you're not business savvy, if you're not a goody two shoes, richy bitchy business person or whatever the case may be, you get frowned upon. Oh, it's just Jared, just another nobody, just a regular. Okay, well, give me my beer and leave me the fuck alone. you know, I'm a paying customer. I haven't said or done anything that would result in me being kicked out of your establishment, but I can see through all that. I'm privy to fakery. And I've grown up around people like that my whole life, and to tell you the truth, I'm not impressed. Not in the least. I'm not impressed. And I could see that in the childhood cancer world, just the fucking fakery and the bullshittery. And the thing that separates me, well, there's actually not just one thing that separates me from the rest of the childhood cancer world. There's many things that separate me from the rest. But one of the main things is that I can relate to the kids' situations to the point where the parents can't. And that's what irritates them. And it's not something I'd brag about. Because honestly, I wish I wouldn't have had to go through what I've had to go through. But I can't turn back the clock. I can't flip back to pages in time and change what's already been done. I can't undo it. But what I can do is show other kids how to navigate through life as a survivor, and to not let cancer define you as a person. And it's something that I've had to learn, because I've had to learn a lot on my own. There are some things that your parents can't teach you. And when you live for a long time and you kind of get the hang of how to balance things out. I don't let cancer define my life. I mean, I'm still here, and I feel bad for the kids who didn't live. My heart breaks for them, and my heart breaks for the families, because it's never easy. But it's very hard to, when they try to, it's just these people try to sensationalize something that sensationalizes itself. The idea of children being sick and dying, you don't need to sensationalize it. It does it on its fucking own. But they know that they're going to get their kudos, and they know they're going to get their ego stroked, and it's a bootlicking situation, pissing contest. And I'm just not interested in that. Someone named Kong Kong. I don't even know what that says. I have no fucking idea what that says. Beats me. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, I only speak English. If you're gonna come in here, please speak English, because I don't understand foreign languages. So please speak English when you come in here. Kong Kong. But anyway, that's where I'm at with that. I can see through people's bullshit, and deep down, I think a lot more people are starting to notice the very things that I'm talking about. They're starting to see it. They're starting to notice this on their own. And I can't begin to tell you how many people actually agree with me, but they don't want their names out there, because you can't agree with Jared Fuller. You can't agree with the enemy. I was never the enemy. I was always for the people. Always for the people, but that didn't seem to matter to most people. So So, in any event, I think I made my point on that. Most people are just waking up to it, and they're starting to see the forest for the trees. And a lot of it, like someone had another one of my friends had even messaged me. They text me and they said, you know, you're really waking things up to people. You're really making people aware of things that we never just didn't take the time to notice before. You're really saying things that, yeah, it's going to piss a lot of people off, but what you're saying has a lot of truth to it. A couple of people have actually told me that, man, you're speaking the truth. And I don't say the things I say to deliberately piss people off, but I want people to understand that this facade can't go on forever. Eventually, at some point, you're going to wait. And this is to the people who are against me. At some point, you're going to wake up and you're going to say, you know what? Jared was right. Jared was right. We didn't have to like him. We didn't have to agree with him. Hey, we hate him and we don't even know why we hate him. We hate him just because we're told to hate him. Well, that's your fucking problem. But one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, you know what? Jared was right about this the whole fucking time and we didn't listen. We were told not to listen because everybody was saying how awful of a person Jared was. Well, if I'm so awful, I wouldn't care this much to tell you the truth of what's going on. If I was really awful, I wouldn't say anything about it at all. You know, children aren't marketing tools. Children are children, Tom Mitchell. Children are children, Milk Tyson. They're not your little fucking cult objects. They're not your little fucking chess pieces. They're human beings. If you're feeling insecure about yourself, maybe you need the help. And you can stop telling me that I need the help. You know, it's not intransigent on the parents or the kids to make you feel better about your insecure ass. Maybe you should be more of a grown-up and say, you know what? What I'm doing is a good thing. I don't need the accolades. I don't need to look like a pretty boy. But man, if I stop trying to present myself as a self-righteous, ethereal person, then somebody else is going to steal my thunder. They're going to steal my spotlight. Fuck you and your thunder and your spotlight. You can take your spotlight and stick it. You should care more about people, not the popularity, not the attention. Care about the fucking people. Care about children as fellow human beings. That's all I'm saying. Just care about people. Treat people like they're people and not, inanimate objects. There's no brass ring. There's no trophy. There's no summit. There's nothing there. It's childhood cancer advocacy, for Christ's sake. Just do what you're doing and just be happy with what you're doing. Change someone's life and just run with that. You're not changing the world, but you can do good things for people, sure. But if you're doing good things to make it about yourself, then that's another story. And that's what most of these advocates and activists are doing. It's not enough that they just do things on their own just to be human in the moment. They got to be Mr. and Mrs. Popularity too. Isn't that right, Debbie Carver? Yeah. Yeah, sure. But in any event, you had someone on your side who cared about the people. But no, you didn't want that. You didn't want that because you don't fit in with the cliques in the childhood cancer world, because I guess I don't know how this happened, but I guess there's a ruling class in the childhood cancer world. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's probably one of the dumbest concepts I've ever heard in my life. A ruling class in the childhood cancer world, the advocacy. Well, these are the big shot advocates. Big shot advocate? What are you talking about? How about those of us who've had to live through that experience? I'm not looking to be a big shot anything, but I don't whatever is happening over here with this popularity contest bullshit going on. What if those of us who actually went through that as children, what if we don't honestly care about that? Then what? Because my thoughts and views don't resonate and mold with yours? Because y'all got to agree on something? Emily Gordon, Pediatric Compass Foundation. Give me a fucking break. You know, another special interest group. That's all the childhood cancer world needs. Another special fucking interest group. Come on now. Really? You guys have nothing better to do? It's just group after group after group after group after organization after organization after allegiance after alliance. Fuck off. Come on. What are you doing? If listen, if fame and popularity were the only things that mattered to you, why don't you move out to fucking Hollywood, where they're always looking for people to act and dance and sing? You guys are already doing this facade shit with childhood cancer advocacy, pretending like you give a shit. Why don't you go out to Hollywood where they actually pay you to pretend? Hey, leave the real work to the people who've actually had to go through that. I don't know. Just saying. Anywho, time is ticking already. It's already going on 4 o'clock. That hour goes by quick. I don't know who Kong Kong is. I'm probably not even subscribed to my channel, but just fine. Probably just some troll who's looking to get their 5 minutes of fame. Okay, you got it. No, shoo, go away. Go away, pest. But yeah, I'm very opinionated about some things, if you hadn't noticed. Um I don't say it to hurt, and although it does hurt, the truth kind of does hurt, doesn't it, Mike Gillette? Because you're always talking about the Truth 365. Yeah, you fucking liar. Um, Another one. He actually, he actually threatened me with the police, and it's like, okay, what's that supposed to do? What law have I broken? Oh, and ask Tom Mitchell about that. Did you try sicking the state police on Jared Fuller? He'll tell you about it. He'll definitely tell you about that. He'll fill you in. And just as I knew was going to happen, police aren't going to do anything. You got to have a good reason. You got to have a case. And there was none. And, my thing is, if you're going to lie about one thing, you're going to lie about everything. And Tom Mitchell lied about me, and he's still lying to people. I can almost guarantee it. I almost guarantee that he's still out there lying about people, lying about me, or making up some cockamamie story to resonate with your feelings. And dude, you think you're the only one who's ever been to a funeral of a kid who passed away from cancer? That shit fucking tears you up inside. Now, I've never been in the situation where my child had passed away, so I can't talk about that. That's where my advocacy would have ended. That would have stopped where you talk directly about how you feel about those things. I can't speak for anybody because I've never been in that situation. But for everything else, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't view children as opportunities. I'm not an opportunist like Tom Mitchell and Milt Tyson and all these other fuckheads out there who just think they're the shit and they're untouchable and they can't be beat. Like there's some aura about them that is so miraculous that these children are just going to be healed because they're there. Get the fuck out of here with that. I'm not impressed. It doesn't do anything. Oh, that Jared Fuller, that Jared Bear, he's really something else. You said it, not me. You know? But I don't know. I wasted a whole hour just ranting and rambling on because I've run out of things to say, obviously. So I want to make sure that I get the full hour in and just talk about some things that are on my mind. But I will probably be out at Billy's Pine Run Inn tomorrow. They do have a Facebook page, and it's a wonderful establishment. I love Billy's Pine Run Inn. It's really nice out there. I enjoy the food. I enjoy the company. Like I said, it's a good environment. There's only one person out there that I've ever had problems with, and he's an old drunk. I think he fought in Vietnam or something. Whether he fought for Vietnam or, I thank him for his service, but you know what? You're not going to treat me like I'm a piece of shit because you will find out. Whether you fought for me or not, I will fight with you. Period. And I don't like to fight. I'm not someone who is confrontational. I don't enjoy looking for I don't look for confrontation. I don't enjoy fighting. But sometimes you get backed into a corner and you have to defend yourself. And I don't know. But I'll be out there tomorrow, and I highly doubt he'll fuck with me anyway. He's too drunk to even remember who I am or what I look like. He just said a bald guy. Well, I'm not bald. I have short hair, but I'm not bald. I'll be out there tomorrow night with my dad. So we'll be out there having fun. And I'll probably put together like a little video, put together some content for my channel. And I'll give you some content to watch. I enjoy putting content together and going through the editing stages and the editing process, and it's a lot of fun. So time is in fact winding down. There's only 2 minutes left. I thank you all for coming in and indulging me for this past hour and listening to me ramble and rant about people. And I try to be good to everybody. I don't like to talk about people. I don't like to put people on blast, but sometimes I'm left with no choice. So I just talk about the things that are on my mind, and don't think I'm going to sit here and put up with your fucking bullshit, because I will put you out there. I will say things that you may not want me to say. So if I were you, I'd tread very fucking lightly, because I'm not afraid to say whatever comes to my head, whatever comes to mind, I'll say it without fear. Whether you text me or email me, I don't give a flying fuck. I will say what is on my mind, and the whole world is going to know it. Even you. So anyway, guys, let's see. It's going on 4:00. I guess I'll get going, and I might even take off myself. I probably go uptown and see if Dad and Amy's still up at my cousin's house. I don't know. I might even just hang here at the house and listen to music. But anyway, it is 4:00. I thank you all so much for sticking around and listening to me chat for about an hour, well, over an hour. My name is Jared Fuller, also known as Jer Bear. My email address is in the About tab section of my YouTube channel here. It can only be seen on computers. So if you have any comment or question about any of the content on my channel, please email me and be civil about it. Or I'll do the same in emails. I'll do here. I'll chew you up and spit you out. But if you have honest questions and honest inquiry, I'd be interested in reading what you have to say. So Dad would say, if he was here, he would say, have a good week, be safe, be healthy, treat each other nicely. Amy, if she was here, she would be saying, peace out and have a good week. Actually, she'd probably be in the bedroom doing her little 420. um, but anyway, guys, much love and have a wonderful week. And I will be here next week, which is Easter. Woohoo! Easter. So this is Jer Bear. Have a good week, guys. See you next week. Toodaloo.